Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Mondays on Castles and Cruising. I am so glad that you are here. If you are new, welcome. We do videos every Monday all about Disney tips and every Tuesday all about cruising tips, plus scattered bonus videos throughout the week. I can't wait for you to check them out with me. Please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It super helps us out, and let's get started. Today's video is all about quick tips for quick trips at Disney World. Those of you that know me in my personal life know that quick trips are my jam. That's how I prefer to do Disney. It just works out better for us right now. We like to take a lot of weekend trips as opposed to one longer trip. That is what we're doing for 2019. It has been so hard waiting to go rather than just going more frequently for a shorter amount of time. So before I get into the actual tips, I just want to offer some encouragement. There are a lot of reasons to be considering a quick trip to Disney. You may be just in a place in your life right now, like we have been, where traveling for an entire week at a time is just really hard to do right now with work constraints or family constraints or budget constraints. So a quick long weekend trip, or maybe just a Monday to Wednesday trip, might be more practical for you right now, and that is still going to be awesome. You may also be heading down to the Orlando area for something else, a wedding, a conference, and thinking about just adding a couple of days at Disney before or after, and that is also going to be awesome. Just because Disney World is so huge and you can't possibly do it all in just 2 days is not a reason to not go. You're still going to have a great time. And it's going to be a lot less expensive than going for an entire week or longer. So what do I mean by a quick trip? And I'm in this video really talking about trips that are 3 to 4 nights or less. Anything longer than that, I would have kind of different tips and tricks to get you the best value for your Disney vacation. So we're really focusing on those long weekend trips or kind of midweek trips that are just a few nights in length. Alrighty, so tip number 1 is to stay on property. I cannot stress this one enough. And this is really because you're not really going to have enough time to get the benefits of staying off property. The 2 big benefits to staying off property are price and then also accommodations. For price-wise, you're not really able to get this benefit because if you're only staying a few nights, the price difference between an off-property hotel and one of Disney's value resorts is not going to be that significant unless you're staying for a much longer period of time. Then the accommodations benefit, you're just not going to have enough time to check out those awesome accommodations. There are some amazing resorts in Florida off Disney's property with incredible features like water parks at the resort, wonderful spas for those of you that are interested in that, golf resorts, all kinds of wonderful resorts in Florida. But if you're only there for a few nights, you're probably going to be spending the majority of your time in the parks. So unless you're there on a timeshare or you're going to Florida for a conference and you have already a different hotel booked and you're just looking to add 1 or 2 nights at that hotel, I would really stress to book one of the Disney resorts so that you can take advantage of the complimentary transportation and being right in the area. Another option to consider is if you are able to look at that deluxe price point, pick a resort that is convenient to the parks that you plan on attending. If you're only going for a few days, you're probably not going to be going to every single park. So if you're doing a primarily Magic Kingdom trip, pick a Magic Kingdom area resort. If you're doing an Epcot trip for one of the festivals or something like that, pick one of those Crescent Lake resorts. You'll get such great value out of being able to just walk to and from your resort over to the parks or take that monorail. Alrighty, so tip number 2 is to prioritize. It's totally okay that you're not going to see everything, but don't try to see everything and then miss out on everything, because that happens to a lot of people that think that they can see everything in a couple of days. Oh, I'm going for 2 days, there's 4 parks, let's do 2 parks per day. And this can work if you have kind of a certain itinerary in mind, like you just want to do thrill rides or something. That could work for you. But if you really want to get the most out of the parks, I would probably suggest not park hopping and just pick 1 park per day and really get the most out of it. Plan on open to close at that park, maybe taking a little bit of a break during the middle of the day within the park for lunch to kind of catch your breath, get a breather, and then get right back at it, because these parks are now really all full day parks. There is so much to do at each of the parks. You'll have an awesome time without needing to park hop. Along the lines of prioritizing those is to really look at what is important to you for this trip and plan on it. You're not going to be able to do every single attraction in just a couple of days. You're not going to be able to see every single character in just a couple of days. So really talk with your travel party, find out what's important to them, and put it in a plan. So that's my next tip, is to plan. Tip number 3 is to plan, plan, plan. We love doing spontaneous Disney trips and just heading down, but that's because we're able to go frequently. If you're not, you want to make sure that you have this trip planned out. Make sure that you have your fast passes scheduled in advance. And while yes, there are certain rides that may be a high priority fast pass to save you time in line, what you really need to do is plan on fast passing the rides that are important to you. If you have fond memories of going on Space Mountain when you were little and you really want to take your kiddos on that, it's okay to fast pass Space Mountain instead of the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train if that's the ride that's more important to you. Make sure you have that fast pass. Same thing with your dining reservations. Make sure you plan those in advance so that you're not disheartened when you walk up to the counter and they cannot seat you. Do your dining reservations in advance, especially since with a shorter trip, you don't have as much flexibility of being able to schedule your dining on any day across 7 days. If you're only there for a couple of days, there's a little bit less flexibility. And so you want to make sure that you're right on that with scheduling it in advance and getting those reservations or having your travel agent do it for you. Tip number 4 is to take advantage of your arrival and departure days. You don't need these to be nothing days. Just because you can't check into your resort until 3 o'clock, you can still go to the parks that day. You can arrive at your resort as early as you like, leave your bags with luggage services, and head over to the parks. Or you can wait until 3 o'clock and just do an evening in the parks. It's still a great value. I would totally recommend just dropping your things off and heading to the parks on your arrival day. And then same thing with your departure day. Get all of your things packed, leave them at luggage services, and head to the parks. Then you can come back and pick up your things before you need to head back home or on to the next part of your vacation. Alrighty, and tip number 5, my last tip, is to consider those extra hard ticket events because they can add great value, especially if you're on a limited time schedule. And if they happen to fall within your vacation window, I would super recommend taking advantage of them. These are things like Early Morning Magic, which allows you access to Fantasyland over at Magic Kingdom or Toy Story Land over at Hollywood Studios, and that includes breakfast. Or after hours events at Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, or Animal Kingdom Park. And then also Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party at Magic Kingdom. While these are additional costs to consider, the amount of time that they get you into the park is considerable, and it can really extend the value of your vacation. If you look at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, for example, these can really be a great way to take advantage of your arrival day if you're coming in on a later flight. You can get into the park as early as 4 o'clock with just a party ticket and not a regular day ticket, and you can stay up until the party ends at midnight. You'll have an amazing time with special fireworks, a special parade, but also all of the attractions are open. So you could consider this your Magic Kingdom day and not need to go to Magic Kingdom on the rest of your trip because you could knock out the whole park in one short window with limited crowds. Additionally, same thing goes for you doing an Early Morning Magic on your departure day, but do know that this does require park admission in addition to the Early Morning Magic ticket. And so just keep that in mind. Alrighty, so those are my 5 quick tips for quick trips. Check back with us next week. We're going to be talking all about luxurious things to add to long trips, and I can't wait to see you there. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy your Magic Monday. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.